Okay, here's our next example. Obeying the law. A lot of them look the same. Positive work environment, safe, respect, safely, etc. So go to the previous one, Lockheed Martin. Here's Lockheed Martin and business and ethics from Lockheed Martin. They're starting to look similar, even though their words might be a little different. And continues. It continues on this slide here. No insider trading. Probably not something that engineers would be involved with, but financial folks. So this ethical code applies to all employees, not just engineers. Personal code of ethics. So we have the intersection of professional and personal, just a little graph just showing that. Integrated with professional. Hopefully they're compatible. Religious values. What do you believe about protecting the environment? Your personal ambition. Related to the military, some of you will be working on military contracts in your professional lives. I did. Had to have a secret clearance. And we were making laser-guided bombs, laser-guided weapons of various sorts. And I had to look at that and say, how do I feel about that? I don't like the idea of making stuff that's going to kill people. Then I realized something that made this possible right here in the middle. Gee, what I'm doing isn't so bad. What we're doing is we're making weapons that take out military targets, bridges, bunkers, roads, to eliminate the capacity of an enemy from engaging, from militarily attacking us. So the target, laser-guided bombs, the target are not civilians, they're not people, it's things. I said, gee, I can live with that. Here's that layers of the onion that I talked about earlier, and it just has a diagram of the idea that we have layers. We have a central core. This expresses it actually differently. I kind of looked at it as personal codes are all encompassing. This expresses the idea of a central core, and then rules and regulations. We have our basic core, and then it expands outwards. More rules and regulations, more rules and regulations. And then government adds its own rules and regulations. Just a little different way of looking at it. Resolving ethical dilemmas, much like the engineering process. You figure out what the problem is, the facts, who's involved, brainstorm, analyze the proposed solutions, select the best course preferred. Not necessarily the best, but what you think is the best. Put in a course of action and look at the impact. Does it work? Identification hazard. So what's the risk? Risk benefit, perception of risk, cost, legal, intangible, etc. Alternatives, technical feasibility. How will they reduce the risk? What will they cost? And then implementation. How are we going to do it? Scheduling and verification. If you design a car, are they responsible for the fuel to operate it? Discuss and formulate your answer. Think about this. I've got another problem actually I'm going to pose to you. Another problem that you're going to do on Canvas, by the way. One thing to note about vehicles in particular, the use of plastics. This was a win-win. So we have the Venn diagram So environment, people, and business. And the sweet spot is right in the middle. Plastics, lighter weight cars, more fuel economy, lighter cars, more plastic components. They meet the needs. I have a 23-year-old Toyota, lots of plastic parts in it. They're still hanging in there. Cost less, businesses like that. And then people, lower price. They get lower priced cars. It was a win-win-win. Using more plastics in vehicles instead of glass and metal and things like that. That was a real good. That's a really good example of how, as engineers, we can get to the middle of this sweet spot of doing things that are good all the way around. Here's the one I want you to do a discussion on. The assignment is on Canvas. And part of brainstorming is preparing, thinking about it ahead of time. So here's the example that a microwave oven was designed. The radiation, the radio emissions exceed government requirements. It is still what is considered safe. Things that are in the production line now will be fixed. So you don't have to worry about the stuff that's coming off the production line from here on. The problem is, what do you do about these 10,000 that are still in the store? So get on the discussion board in Canvas and brainstorm. Remember the rules of brainstorming. Don't judge your idea. Don't judge other ideas. That wild ideas are welcome. You want as many ideas as you can. And then after you've brainstormed, you sort through what's good. On the discussion board, I want you to put down at least 5 ideas. You can video conference and then copy the chat if you want, so that you're doing all 5 ideas, and then, gee, let's just copy our chat window and paste it into the discussion. So I can go through and I can see who is actually doing it, the people that are actually doing it. I want you to get lots and lots of ideas. And on the discussion board, try to come up with a group decision. What do you think is the best solution to this? Sustainability and environment. I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here and go on to sustainability in the next video in the playlist.